It's not unlike a martial art, a kind of active meditation. You're completely detached from material contingencies. You stop thinking of everyday living. It's like weightlessness. You leave a mountain and gently rise above mountain upon mountain, cloud upon cloud. It's a real adventure which frees you from the realities of everyday life. It's a little rudimentary. It's the forerunner of the free-fly sports. You need a real dose of courage to practice it. Hang gliding is not unlike the flight of large birds. It's a gliding sport invented in the 1960s in Australia, a highly technical aerial sport which combines competition, concentration, risk-taking, respect for the environment, and an analysis of aerology. We're in the Hautes-Alpes department in the Southern Alps on the Laragne-Chabres site. This territory is situated between Bueche, Val-de-Méouge and Baronnie. The climate in these valleys is particularly propitious for the practice of hang gliding throughout the year. It seemed perfectly natural then that the International Aeronautical Federation accepted the candidature of Laragne to organize the 17th World Hang Gliding Championships. There are several launch sites which enables you to take off with the four winds and glide very long distances. The first element is the climate. The weather is often very good here, especially in this season. What's also interesting is that relief lends itself perfectly to free flight, with peaks of a moderate altitude, well spaced, with wide spaces for landing in their midst, and above all a good number of rocky areas which encourage the formation of thermals, the hot air currents which are the engines for the hang glider. In all, there are 125 competitors from 33 countries who battle it out over 15 days in the skies of the Hautes-Alpes. All the best pilots are there, the likes of Manfred Römer, the Austrian on his comeback, already a triple world champion, as well as the Italian Alessandro Plurner, the Australian John Durand, or the American Jeff O'Brien, and of course the French team with Raymond Coe, the national trainer.
I would like to declare the 17th World Hang Gliding Championship open and wish you all a safe and enjoyable contest.
It's also the occasion to take part in the Air Festival, an event which reminds us that this department of the Hautes-Alpes is especially propitious for the practice of all aerial sports, an eye-opener for the general public.
Everybody counts down. We need someone to go to drink for us, to go to drink for us. We need someone.
Among the best pilots in the world, Antoine Boisselier is a remarkable young man and member of the French team. Antoine is passionate, in love with everything that flies, without an engine. He loves challenges such as participating in these hang gliding world championships for the sheer pleasure, playing with the air pressure, a sort of key to success in this strategic sport.
La compétition, on est au niveau matériel à la pointe de la technologie.
Our equipment is at the cutting edge of technology with top-of-the-range materials. Highly effective machines which are really pleasant to fly. And when several of us at the same level, we really fight it out. It's the adrenaline, the decision-taking, the speed of analysis. You can't afford to lose a second. You must be vigilant. But it's a game. We race each other, we gamble, at times we take chances, but if you depend too much on luck, it doesn't always work. There really are a good number of parameters to take into account, which make it a very exciting game.
Antoine, je dirais qu'il est calme.
Antoine is calm, he's a clear thinker, he climbs very well, and he's normally placed in the leading group. Fairly high, perhaps even higher than his fellow pilots. He takes good decisions, When he has good rhythm from the very start of the task, that can give him a big score at the arrival. He could win several tasks, and I hope he'll win here, for he has the level to win a leg of the World Championships.
Il peut gagner des manches. J'espère que ça va lui arriver pendant ce championnat. Mais il a tout à fait le niveau pour remporter une manche internationale.
Bah voler, la tête en avant là, comme un oiseau, c'est de la...
Flying head first like a bird really is the ultimate. You're in 3 dimensions in a mass of air, an enormous playground, the sky. There's nothing more vast on earth, and you can go wherever you want to go. When you fly for yourself, and you really have the feeling of harmony with nature, since it's nature which enables you to fly. With the climbing currents which you exploit, depending on the wind, there where you can fly, where you can climb, you can go faster. You study the landscape and then you come back. It's just magic. There's something almost mystical about it.
Quelque part, il y a un côté un peu mystique, quoi.
You need specific weather to fly. Free flight is a sport which exploits the energy from solar radiation. The hang glider uses rising air currents, the famous thermals. Once he succeeds in picking up a thermal, the pilot carries out spirals to climb. During this competition above the Alps, the tasks will be up to 164 kilometers long. The current world record is 705 kilometers. It's pure slipping and sliding. You're travelling at speed. This sensation of gliding in 3D on the air. It's just like surfing with the clouds and the climbing currents. It resembles lots of facets of board sports. You can go downhill in hang gliding, a speed run, exploiting the relief, passing close by at high speed for strong sensations. You spend hours up there with this dynamic, and this is what really does resemble surfing. And then later you have the possibility to climb on the thermals and surf on the clouds, rise above the clouds, just like a windsurf. You have your hands on the control bar and you take best advantage of the weather conditions for the sheer pleasure of hanging out in the sky. Each morning before leaving control at Laragne, the pilots meet for the weather briefing. Depending on the information presented by Météo France, the organisers determine the launch site and start to imagine the physiognomy of the task force. The launch is on one or other of the slopes of the Chabre mountain, depending on the direction of the wind. Good weather forecast from Météo France. The thermals are blue, not much cumulus, but there is a breeze coming up the valley, but not too much wind. At the moment there is some cumulus starting to build over there, but not here.
Just don't make big mistakes. And, well, fly fast and be a goal. Maybe the first every day.
You have to be quick, as always. Like every year, be regular and attentive. Do you have to read the sky? Reading the sky is very important, because the quality of the sky helps you fly fast. If you understand where the warm air climbing rapidly is coming from, you understand how you can win.
Questo permette di vincere, insomma.
You must not buckle under pressure. From the launch you have to climb to the base of the cloud, position yourself well for the time start, analyze the weather perfectly, the transitions, the positioning on the different reliefs, while trying to advance quickly with the leading group, and at the end of the run trying to adopt the best strategy to be in front. 1 hour before the gliders take off, there's the general briefing. Once the course for the task has been chosen by the Committee of Pilots and Race Management, it's handed out very precisely to all the pilots, and they then enter into their GPS the coordinates of the beacons to be overflown on the circuit, as well as the target to be reached for the final landing after a flight of 112 kilometers.
J'irai voir, moi. Je vais aller me placer pour aller voir. Et éventuellement, ce qui peut être intéressant, c'est de sortir ici pour se mettre en appui sur la falaise ici.
They've given us the mandatory turn points to complete the circuit. We've entered them in our GPS, which indicates the direction we follow and the distance from the turn points, the beacons, and we therefore follow our GPS, which gradually indicates the beacons to be followed, the next ones, and the goal, the landing.
Ici on a le cordelet d'overdrive, c'est peut-être mieux que je te montre.
The overdrive cord is a system rather like the one on a yacht, with a ratchet which enables us to change the tension of the sail in the air. The harder we pull on it, the more the sail is stretched, becoming faster and more effective. We change our tuning as we like, depending whether the thermals are big or small, to optimize the rate of descent, and especially for the transition. Once we reach the crest of a thermal, we tighten the overdrive to fly faster and as far as possible.
Et puis surtout, c'est pour la transition en fait. Dès qu'on est au sommet du thermique, on va tendre l'overdrive à fond pour aller le plus vite et le plus loin possible en fait.
Hang gliders always take off into the wind. It's about 12:30. A delicate procedure for human beings are taking off from the Earth. Wind energy will be their sole source of propulsion. It's not the real start of the time stage, but merely to enable all the pilots to take to the air safely while awaiting the opening of the start window.
It's not enough. Come and erase me, take me with you. Kiss me, I'm drunk, don't worry, it's true. I wanted to show you how mad is my love. Come and
We use a lot of energy. Don't be deceived. Hang gliding really is a sport.
let's make love. Let's make love. And you know my ideas when they were in my head. They were my secret, even in plans. Flying them better more than a year.